Tonight we're just going to be covering, most of the basics. I want to show you how to use all the features, as well as some common errors you might get with the text effect. If for some reason you get it, if you're doing anything and it's like freezing up or shutting down Corel, try to take a video or just remember what buttons you're clicking, and we can make sure, we can see if it's more our issue or maybe just the pattern, the wrong buttons that we're clicking. So just let us know, and we'll make sure we get that fixed. All right, so perfect. So in the text effects, the first kind of drop down we'll see is the different live color or live text options. So we have our one color, and you're going to see a sample right here of the text. We have our two color, and when it's a two color like this, it's the same way we would set up our live text in the past. So a two color live text means that it's just a contour around that outside color. And then we have our three color. So again, the same way we used our three color live text, and in our live template editor, how we had the merge three color live text, that's going to be the same setup as you see here. Then we have our flat shadow. This one's kind of new. Now we've showed you how to make this, but now it's just, again, a one-click button. And then lastly, we have our block shadow. Right. So not on each one, but a lot of different ones, except the one color live text, you'll see these different options below it. So if they're grayed out, kind of like you see here, it most likely just means that it doesn't have this effect. So it's going to be grayed out, so you're just not clicking buttons and getting, errors or anything like that. So as soon as I drop down to the two color live text, you'll see our outline here. So our outline is going to be that's outside color. So on this example, it's going to be the black. Now right here is the red. Once we click that, we can adjust the outside color to whatever we want. So if we want to preset it, we have that option right here. So I can set it to a nice green, hit OK, and now if I hit apply, it's going to give me my green outside text. Now, if I don't have any text already written out and I hit apply, it's just going to give me my design or my field or my envelope shape just in the word text, but it's going to shape it to about 10 inches wide. So it's just going to default to about 10 inches and then a little bit more if you add the contour to it. So if you just want like a basic text where you don't want a shape, this is now set up as a live template. So whatever word we write in here, it won't go outside that 10 inches. So down here, we have our clear envelope button. So if I'm working through these designs and I kind of just want, I just want to see what it looks like, but I don't like the end result, what I can do is left click and it will clear the envelope. Now, if I have a design like this, or I have the two color live text selected, if I just left click clear envelope, it's still going to want to keep my contour around my design. So if I want to get rid of all that, I need to right click clear envelope, and that will clear not only the contour, but the envelope shape that it was in too. So we had a question coming in. If I have a ribbon / banner, and I want the text to follow the shape, how do I set that up to be an envelope? I'll show you that in a little bit. So that's one of the things we'll cover tonight. I actually added this a little bit earlier. We have this add delete envelope in here. So if we're used if we want to just make a shape ourselves, or if we need, like we use a certain banner shape all the time, we can get it to fit there and we can just add that shape, and then our text will always go to that format. So we'll definitely cover that. All right, so our 3-color live text. Now this is going to give us one extra option. So now we'll have the inline color. So that's going to start as white. But again, if I want that to be a different color, I can just come in here, make that purple, make my outside color, do nice green again. And let's go ahead and select a different shape, apply. And now you'll see whatever colors I selected here will automatically go into that inline and outline color. So the outline is going to be the second color, inline will be usually where that white is. That's usually how we set it up. But again, if we wanted any color, we can adjust that before we create the envelope. Now if we want to change it after, we just select the contour, come up top, and then we can adjust it to whatever color we want. Find text. Again, now it's set up as a live text. So someone asked, in the add shape, can it be like a detailed, such as like a shape of a state or animal? No, we still want to have it in a basic like envelope shape. Though if it has a lot of, like if we did that state of Texas, it's not gonna be a nice shape to follow, so it's not gonna look that nice. So we definitely want it to be, you know, a basic envelope shape, pretty much like we would create a live text anyways. We're sticking to those type of shapes. All right, so another question, are these already knocked out and ready to cut? No, so these are just set up as a live text. So in order to get this cut ready, all I have to do now is highlight it. This is our 3-color live text. So to get it cut ready, all I do is click the merge 3-color live text button down here. So I highlight. So right now, if I move this, you can see how it's 2 layers right on top of each other. So essentially we want that white cut out. So the merge 3-color live text is going to do that for us. We can change that color, and now that's ready to go to like send to our cutter. Hey Toy, no problem, just getting started. So no, the heart shape won't really work that well either. We'll try to add it and see what it gives us, but we really kind of want more basic shapes than that. Now once I do this merge 3-color live text, it's no longer a live text. So we want to keep it set up as a live text until pretty much we're ready to cut. So when we're setting these up, we don't need to get them cut ready. It's just when we, after we save the live template and someone wants it recreated, then we can get it cut ready. All right, so that was our 3 colors. So our next one is our flat shadow. So now you'll see the outline, inline kind of get grayed out. And next you'll have your effect. So we have our flat or negative. And then next to that we have these little squares. So the squares kind of dictate where our shadow is going to be. So I can write out, let's go ahead and write out football. Find the text we want to use. Now the flat is just going to be the basic how it's set up here. Now you can see if I switch or click these different boxes, how the shadow kind of rotates around our design. Here is the distance. So same, pretty much like our outline up here, I can adjust the distance. And then here is our color for the shadow. So let's say I want a blue shadow. I can go ahead and make that blue. Let's go ahead and pick a different envelope, hit apply. And that's just going to give me my nice blue shadow, just like that. Again, it's going to be set up as a live text, so then I can come back in, change that to basketball or whatever text I want. If you have several different live text set up, you'll want to do them one at a time. Now the next option, yeah, so someone wants to see that in wireframe, no problem. So right now they're two layered, it's layered right on top of each other. So if we want this ready to cut, then I have a couple choices. This isn't a contour, so this is just another text pretty much layered right behind it. So the old way we would do this, let's say I had my design like this. I had a one color text. I had my text here. Before we would just set this up manually by making a copy and layering it kind of right on top. That's the same effect we have here, but now it does it for us. So if I want to get this cut ready, let me change that so we can see it a little bit easier. If I'm using a vinyl that can be layered, essentially it's fine. But if not, I can come over here to my magic boundary. I'll click contour, remove shapes behind, set it to about 0.03, magic boundary. And I have a contour on my soccer text, so I'm just going to delete that for now. Magic boundary, and then that will cut that out for me. And now if I go to my wireframe, there's nothing overlapping. Yeah, so if you're creating one of these, let's just go ahead and create a simple live text real quick. So let's say I have my design like this, and then I just want to make one flat. So right now this is pretty much a live template design. So if I hit show all, find text, I can come over here and then I can type Mustang, football, and this is how I would want to save my template. And what's cool about this too, if I want to come back and add the 3-color effect, I can still do that. So let's say I have my design set up like this. This is how I want my live template saved. I can go to File, Save As, and then just save that to whatever folder I want. So File, Save As. Let's go to my TRW templates, custom, and football 001. And you can save this to whatever format it's saved to. I have a couple different versions, so I just save it as 16. Hit save. And now I can go to my open template, custom templates. You'll see football 001. So this is the point where you can go ahead and edit your design. So again, find text. Let's say this team wants it to say Pirates. Oops. Basketball. So then this is where I can get it cut ready, adjust the color. So go ahead and ungroup my design, highlight that 3-color live text, click merge. And now I can set this up to match maybe their school colors. So let's say they're orange and blue. So now I would just save this as, Pirates basketball ready to cut. But I don't save over my live template, because now when the next school wants to come and use that same design, I can just go right back to my customs. It'll open up as Mustangs again, and then I can go right back into changing it to Tigers softball. Does that make sense now with the like when to like how to save it? All right, perfect. All right, so with our flat shadow, one of the effects that we have is you would probably just, if you want to save it for like a, like if we had our design here, since this one was a cut ready file, I would save this, like let's say I had my clients, my Pirates basketball was my clients. Now I would save this to a different folder where I'd go to maybe save as, my documents, or wherever I had all my files, and I could save it to Pirates basketball, and I would save it right to that file now. But my live template doesn't get saved over as a like ready to cut file. That way I can always go back. So with our flat shadow live text, one of the effects we have is our negative. So this is a pretty cool design here, or effect here. So I can just type out Mustang, select the font I want to use, you can still add any shape you want. You can adjust where you want your shadow. Let's do negative, apply. So it's not only going to shape it for us, but it's going to give us our negative in that design. Now, once you create with the negative, it's not going to be, this isn't a live template. So once we use this negative effect, it's a one-time, you know, if I want to go back, I can hit Control Z or undo up top here. But once you're clicking that negative, it's turning it into like a welded design. And that's going to work the same with the block shadow too. If you use that effect. Now the block shadow, it might give you an error, but it still does the correct effect. So right now we know it's doing that error. So if you see that, just hit OK. Now the one thing we'll have to do here, or what's kind of cool about this effect with the block shadow, is it breaks, it doesn't weld all the pieces together. So if I wanted to come in here and give it like a two-color look, maybe all the right, you know, the sides of it, we could add a second color to. So you could totally mix, kind of, there we go, mix up how the design actually looks. Once I'm done, I'd probably, you know, I would weld all the same colors together. So just select all the same, weld, and then your design is set up that way. Yeah. So the block is going to give you, the block and the shadow are similar, but it's going to give you a kind of a deeper look with the block effect. Okay, so to weld all the same colors at once, if you select the red and come up top here on your wizard, this middle button underneath your stone color, that's good. If you left click it, that's going to select all the same color at once. So you can see how it selects all the red, and then I just come up top and hit weld. So same thing with the blue, select all, and then just weld that. So this is one of the first errors you might not notice until it's too late. But because I have this negative button checked, if I go to a one color design, I change the shape and hit apply, and I go over here to hit find text, you notice how nothing shows up over here? My text is here. I just created a new template. I can do another one. Oh, I did it to one that was already welded. It doesn't look like it crashed it, so that's good. Let me do this again. All right. So again, find text, nothing showing up. So the reason why is if I come over here and select my text, you see how it's like a welded design already? It's not giving me, usually with an envelope, what we want. Let me go back to the one color real quick. Usually with an envelope, we want this box around it. Instead, we have just the welded design. The reason we got that is because in these settings, in the flat shadow and the block shadow, if you use that negative effect, it wants to weld your design. So if you accidentally leave that on and you go to create like a two color text or a one color text, and you can't find, it won't find the text, or you can't edit it after, it's most likely because you have this setting saved as negative. So when we're done, we want to make sure we uncheck that negative if we're going to go back and make any more text. So does everyone feel confident with like the different effects, or the one color, two color, three color, flat shadow, and how to get each one ready to cut? Hey, Jerry. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So one other, so let me get rid of this one so we don't keep adding to it. So on this one here, I've already added our envelope shape here. So if I select the new one and hit apply, you'll notice how it just changes to the next one. So I can kind of go through these different ones and see which one I like. Now, if I want, I have this multiple envelope button down here. So if I want to kind of put two together, I can start adding different effects to get different looking live text. Now, it's not always guaranteed that it's going to look good or anything like that, but if I want to add different effects, I can keep adding multiple envelopes to my design. But again, we end up with something like this. So most of the time, I wouldn't imagine using multiple envelopes, maybe just one or two, but after you get to the point where you're clicking 3 or 4, it's going to get to a weird shape, and there's really not an easy way to control it. If you're wanting to create your own envelope, it's better just to shape it yourself. So let's go over here, and we're going to add delete. So I added this ribbon one. So to delete it, I need to click this X and hit save. If I don't hit save, it's not going to update my envelopes. Now, this envelope, this kind of squeeze look here, is one of my favorite envelopes. I probably use it more than a lot of these ones that are on this front page. So if I want to adjust any of that either, I can hit add delete, and this squeeze, I can move it all the way up to the top, hit save, and now it's my first envelope in my settings. So if you want to switch these around, or if there's a few that you use more, you can always adjust those to the front so you don't have to always keep clicking to the next page. And also, if you select an effect and you actually want your design as like a just straight text like we have here, If you just go, you can see how this one actually has a shape to the envelope. If you just click on one of these arrows, you'll notice how it reverts back to normal. So that's how you'll get it back to that normal text, or just, you know, without an envelope. All right. So now to add your own, someone was asking about a ribbon earlier. So let's just use the banner shape that we have up top here. So I can create this banner shape. I have it sized up here to about 9 inches, 3 inches tall. Now right now, this is in a shape, so it's not actually converted to curves or welded yet. So that's the first thing we need to do. So you can come up here and hit weld. You can hit Control Q on your keyboard, or you can right click and hit convert to curves. That's going to make this an actual object rather than the shape. So once you do that, we have this selected here. We're going to go to add/delete. We're going to click add, and now you're going to name it. So I named this one ribbon. We're going to hit OK. You'll see it kind of going through the settings, and then it's going to add itself here. Now again, we have to hit save, or otherwise that won't work. And then you'll see your envelope added in here as well. So then select your envelope, apply, and then it has that text shape just to your ribbon, just like that. So it's still live text, so you can come in. Let's just say Spartans, and it will hold that shape. If you wanted your text smaller than the ribbon, we can adjust it once it's like kind of created. We can just bring in the sides a little bit, and then the top and the bottom, and it should hold that shape pretty well still. Or what you could do, if you knew you had this size, we could possibly, let's do an inside fill auto, a little bit more than that. Let's go ahead and save that shape. So you'd have to kind of save this ribbon so you knew it would be the same size. But let's see if we add this one here. Okay. Save. Apply. Yeah, so it's still actually making it to the 10. Okay, so we'll have to look at that because right now it's still reverting back to that 10 inches when we saved it to a little bit smaller. So I'll look into that and see if we can adjust it. But either way, once it has that shape, from there we can just bring in the sides and the top, and it will still fit to that shape we just created. So it will still save you time. You might just have to adjust the height and width just a little bit. All right, so we were asked about a heart shape. So let's go ahead and bring this to a new page. And this is where it's going to get a little bit weird with like different shapes like this. So we're going to convert it first. Go to add. Just call it heart. Save. Now with this shape here, see how the text is bent? And even if I have a different setting in here, it's just not usually going to look that good. It doesn't, I guess it doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't necessarily, unless you had the heart around it, I don't know if you're going to be able to really tell that it's a heart or not. So let's just say we have basketball. I mean, it's definitely not, the worst, but like I said, unless you have that heart shape around it, it's going to be a little bit hard to tell exactly what we're what kind of shape it was. And it looks like probably, like if we have a little bit less text, it'd probably look a little bit cleaner, but it's throwing it off there. That's the only problem. It's slanted because it's trying to find the best path for the heart, so it's just going to kind of throw it in a little bit different. Not when it's set to a shape like that. You're not going to be able to really control how the text goes into the shape. Now, if we had a heart, and let's say we had the word basketball, another way I could kind of add it to that shape is if I right click, power clip inside, and then select the heart, then I can come down here and click edit, rotate my text. Actually, let's make it a little bit taller, a little skinnier first. But again, because of the text in the word, it's going to look a little bit weird. But then I could rotate it. Hit edit. Yeah, and it's still going to be a little bit hard to read. Let's try it. Yeah, it's still going to be a little bit hard. But the power clip kind of can do that, but it's not going to necessarily fill it like the envelope shape would. All right, so with the live color or with the text effects, did we have any additional questions? Anything I might not have covered? Someone asked what the V and the P buttons were for. Those were usually with, like, if it's depending on the different style of envelope. The V works for more of like the straight edge ones like you see here, where the P is for putty, and that's going to fit more of the single arcs like you see down here. And these, anything that has more of an arc to it, the P is going to work usually a little bit better for the text to fill that shape a little bit better. Yeah, so someone wanted to see the word dance. No problem. So that one doesn't look too bad. So probably the smaller word with the heart or the less characters, it looks like it's going to kind of look a little bit better. With the multiple envelopes, there's no like reason you have to use multiple envelopes or anything like that. I probably won't use them too often just because it's just a random kind of shape that it's going to make. So let's use the word dance again. If I have, the only reason I would probably do that is just to see if I can get something that looks unique. Something like here, maybe I'll hit apply and then make it like on a slant too. So if I want this design or that setup, that's when I would use multiple envelopes. But again, it's just a random shape that it's gonna make for you. So there's real, you might use it. You might find a combination of two that you really like, but most of the time you probably won't use the multiple envelopes. Yeah, so now what we'll kind of show you is just different ways to set up these live templates and pretty much just using these text effects. So some of the more simple ones is just kind of using the opposite. So we have these like top and bottoms. So with something like that, we could do Lakewood. Let's just do Lakewood. And we just find the text we like. And let's go ahead and use a 2-color. Apply. That's going to shape it just like that for us. And then same thing here. We can put champions. Click the bottom one, apply. Oh, let's go ahead and change the text first. Apply. And then once I do that, I can just make it a little bit bigger, and I can just set these to the same size. So now we'll come in 10 inches, 10 inches. Go ahead and center both of them, and then I'm just going to pull it down just like that. Now if I want to adjust the color, again, I could have done that here, or I can just come back when I'm done and adjust it that way too. Alright, so then I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Just go ahead and center that. And then I can just come in and do 2019 6A regional. Go ahead and find the text I like. Go ahead and set that up. And I'm just going to raise the height a little bit. Now once I like the height, I can't pull this all the way across because, you know, then I'm going to have to squeeze it in like that. It doesn't necessarily look bad, but if I have the height kind of set up where I like it, I like using this text spacing tool. So I click the TS and then just kind of pull that across. And maybe just add an additional space in there. Then I can go ahead and line that up. Let's go ahead and make that same blue. You can make this a white text. And let's make the text just a little bit smaller. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit. And then I can add some basic star shapes on the edge. Make those white too. No, so I haven't converted anything to curves yet. So now, lastly, we'll just add an artwork. Let's go to our live templates volume 2, grab one of those football helmets, throw that right in towards the bottom here. Oh, let's just make sure it's lined up. So I'll bring it straight down. I'm going to make the inside this powder blue. I'm going to make the outside white, and then it's going to give it that nice cutout look. So pretty much just using our basic text effects, we've created a brand new live template. And just because I put the football helmet here, we can make this any type of live template. So if I go to find text, now we could do Lakewood. We could turn this into Did I have the... Okay. So let's do Sarasota. And then here, turn this to classic. Oh, and one thing I didn't do was actually make this a live text. And what's cool about it is once we have that set up and I just hit apply, it makes that a envelope and it keeps the letters spaced out. So now I can come in here. Make that a fishing tournament. Select my helmet. Hit change artwork. Fish. Say this red grouper. That's just going to throw it right in there. Maybe make that red. And then I'll change maybe this blue to that dark green just like we have here. So just because we set these live templates up doesn't mean we can't adjust them to anything we want. So if you select the text tool and click on the text, it will pop up with the text window too, and you can just retype it in there. Either side, you can change it. So if you want to do it over here, you can do Minnesota. Oops. Classic. So same thing. I mean, we set up these decals for anyone that has like the decal fundraiser pack, has seen like the decals. Now we can set them up in seconds. I can just make a top one here, hit apply. Let's just do impact, apply. Actually, let's go ahead and make 2 copies. Apply that one, then I can apply this one. Just bring that down, and then hit add artwork. Live template decal pack. Now we just throw one of these in here. Just go ahead and type football, make it easier. So let's say we have our QB here. Throw him right in the middle. And now I have a custom template. If I want to make it a little bit more customized, I can add, the number 15, impact, apply. Now it's a live template too, so you can easily switch it and just cut that right out of the name. Can decals be a knockout? Definitely. So someone asked, can you do an envelope and apply a tail to the letters? You could. Yeah, so I guess it's all depends on what font you're using though. But what you could do, like let's say you're using the Sportstail font. Let's go ahead and type this out. Let me see if this is what you meant by it. So we have our stadium font. Let's go ahead and use it just like this. We'll hit apply. So I'm going to make that just a little bit taller. But once I have that, I can select my tail. add it. I'm going to pull it down a bit to match up. So kind of set up like that, I'm thinking. Now let's see Spartans, and if we put Mustangs. So with a little adjustment, it should work pretty well. You know, maybe just making it a little bit taller. So you could technically kind of set that up. I'll move that to the back. That way we can kind of trim anything we needed to. I was just seeing if most of them line up pretty well too, so you could kind of you know, adjust the envelope or the tail pretty quickly as well. To search the fish like I did here, when you go to add artwork, you're going to go into your clip art. So once you have all your packs in here, if I want any type of, you know, I search fish first, so it's going to list all my fish in this folder. If I did basketball, I could get all my basketball designs quickly. So that's how I searched it really quickly on the fish design here. Yeah, the clip art's always been searchable. Same with the templates too. You'll have your search template. So if I had a basketball template, it would show up in there as well. All right, so any other questions we have about the text effects or creating live templates, saving them? Anything I didn't cover on the text effects tab? The weld box here is just gonna weld it. When you do like the negative and stuff, how it showed that earlier, it's just gonna pre-weld it for you. Stuff. So much, yeah, it's so much easier than the I. So anyone, I know, you know, if you're brand new, if this is the first wizard you had, you know, this looks very, very simple. But anyone that's had it, you know, even the 4.0, the live templates were awesome. But creating them always took a little bit of time. You kind of had to know how to shape the envelopes. Now it's just, you know, clicking a button, hitting apply, and it's good. Next free webinar. So mine will most likely be next week. We go to Phoenix this week, so anyone that's in that area, definitely come check us out. All the info will be on the site for our classes. I know we have one each day there. So Matt, I believe it's Wednesday. I know he put out a message earlier. Either tomorrow or Wednesday, I believe Matt's doing more of a run through of the 5.0 and, you know, just any type of questions on it. So that one should be free this week too. But I'll definitely, when we get back, I'll have another one. Kind of, I think next time I wanted to focus on the magic tab, going through all the different magic buttons we've added. Okay, so yeah, his normal Monday was moved to Wednesday. That's what I'm getting. Wednesday is the live. Okay. So I know he was talking about going over just questions in general in the 5. But my next free one, probably do it next. It'll probably be like next Wednesday. but we'll do the magic buttons. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Like I said, we have the show in Phoenix this week, starting Friday and Saturday. So if you're in the area, come check us out. Any other questions, always give us a call at 941-755-1696 or shoot us an email at info@therhinestoneworld. Anyone that has emailed in the last couple of days, thanks for your patience. We were short a little bit on the call center, and it was like right when we released, we had someone go out of town, so should be picking back up tomorrow. If you did leave a message and you haven't got an answer, we'll definitely, I know Grant and Gavin has been going through all the voicemails and Facebook message and stuff like that. But anything else, just let us know. Any errors you're getting, again, just if videos are the best, that way we can definitely see exactly what's going on. But even an image of the runtime error, stuff like that, will always help us kind of diagnose it a little bit more. All right, guys. Well, you have a great night and enjoy the Super Bowl this weekend. No, it hasn't been too bad. It's just kind of the activations I know are causing a little bit of issues, but with the upgrades or with the new, like the 5.3, I know a lot of those kind of help the activations and stuff like that. So if you're having issues with activation, you haven't updated yet, try that first. That could fix it. But otherwise, definitely, if you left a voicemail, you'll get the call back. Pillar, I saw your message. I'll message him as well and see what's up. Saints fan. Yes, sorry about that game. Don't know what else to say about that. All right, Todd. I know how you're staying warm. All right, guys. You have a great night. And again, Matt's webinar, it looks like it's going to be Wednesday night, so just check on that. I know we have a couple new font design packs coming out and a new cool new font that you'll get to see on Wednesday. All right, guys, take it easy.